much. Thank you, Amanda, and thank you everyone for joining us at Afro Roots Tuesdays. It's such a pleasure to be back with you. We're here with you every other week to bring you some of the greatest artists on the planet, actually. The series started out being a local series in New York City, but we are definitely now an international series, and we have artists from all over the world who are playing Afro Roots, and it's amazing. It's amazing how the series has grown. And now that we're on Zoom on a regular basis, we actually have a community from all over the world that's joining us for Afro Roots now. So there are very likely people from other countries and people from the West Coast that are even with us tonight, or it could be in the afternoon wherever they are. Um, but it's really great to see that happen. We do, of course, prefer whenever possible to be playing music live because the live experience is just something very special. We had every intention of bringing every artist that you've seen here on the Zoom experience to God of Riverside live. But of course, since this lockdown, we've had to bring everything to Zoom. And it's amazing, that there has been some beautiful things as a result of that. So we like to focus on the beautiful things. And the beautiful things are that wherever you are, you might be in another country, you might be in another state, you can be with us here tonight and you can be feeling the vibes. We try to keep it as lively and as casual and as at home feeling as our live experience at God at Riverside, because the beautiful thing we were live at God at Riverside was that people felt like they could walk up and actually dance to the artist, dance with the artist. And the artists feel like they can come dance with the audience. And it felt very circular, like a circular experience, a circular community. And we like to feel that circular experience, that circular community right here on this internet experience. We like for everybody to feel that they are actually sitting there in the living room with the artist and enjoying the music and enjoying the conversation. At times, we'll unmute even tonight. Um, I always do that in the beginning too to give us that community feeling. This music series happens every other week. We are brought to you, for you, by you, and of you. Uh, and without you, we don't exist. So thank you for coming. And thank you for telling other people about Afro Roots. That's how we get around, by word of mouth. Without word of mouth, we don't really have another way of telling people. We don't have a large budget to advertise and you know tell people what our series is. We have an incredible series, though. You find out as much as you can about it on the Afro Roots Tuesdays page on Facebook. So we have a page on Facebook. This is Afro Roots Tuesdays. Please like that page and check it out and see what's on it. And the best thing to do is to send an email to my email address to join the mailing list. And the email address is kevinimbira@hotmail.com. We'll put that in the chat so that you can send an email and you'll automatically be on the mailing list. And you'll find out through your email who the artists are who are coming to Afro Roots without fail. Facebook has a funny way of deciding who gets to see what and also making those decisions about who we get to talk to. So that's why it's important to join the mailing list. It was so funny when we started doing the promotion for Bear Fox about 2 weeks ago. Facebook just decided to limit my promotion to allow me to invite 50 people. So of course I kept reaching out all sorts of other ways. So if you got this message, you find out it was happening, I'm thankful. We're doing the best we can to get the word out to everybody about amazing concerts and amazing artists and a community that's around Afro Roots Tuesdays. We're going to take a little bit of a break in August and come right back in September. So this night with Bear Fox is actually sort of is a season closing night for us before we start our new season. We like to start our seasons in September. Um, so now I want to special thank the director of God at Riverside, Susan Macaluso. She's the one who um, actually saved Afro Roots Tuesdays back in 2013 because we started out in Bleecker Street at the Yippie Cafe. And that space got bought up by developers and they pushed everything out, all the cultural stuff out. And we were looking for a new venue. And Susan Macaluso, I had a just chance conversation with her, and she said, "Bring the whole music series here." So since that time, since September of 2013, we've been housed at God at Riverside, and it's been an incredible relationship there. We've had the full support of God at Riverside, and we've had amazing nights of live music there every other week for the last 8 years now. Um, so I want to thank Susan Macaluso for making a way for Afro Tuesdays to continue on and to be moving and grooving in the positive. Um, I want to thank also Gregory Cage. Gregory Cage has been doing the sound and the tech and a lot of other production work for Afro Tuesdays since the very beginning. He was one of the people who helped establish the series back in the early days on Bleecker Street. And Gregory Cage is with us from time to time. Now that we're on Zoom, he floats in and out as per when he's needed. He was with us the last time when we had Cable A, but he is definitely to be thanked for all the work he does and continues to do for Afro Roots Tuesdays to make it possible. And of course, I want to thank Amanda Hopper, who you just met and saw. She is with God at Riverside, and she is helping to make things work. A lot of technical details that are going on to make this thing happen, so that we can all enjoy this experience tonight. Amanda Hopper is making this all happen. So big thanks to Amanda Hopper with God at Riverside. And of course, I have to thank each and every one of you for coming out to Afro Roots Tuesdays. And whether that means coming into your living room or coming out somewhere, I want to thank you because, again, without you, this series doesn't exist. So thank you so much for being here with us and continue to join us in the future. And please join the mail list if you can and tell your friends about it because that is the way we get around by word of mouth. So I want to also say that we're just beyond thrilled tonight to be able to bring Bear Fox. She is one of the most incredible artists in Native American music. Um, I was so impressed when I heard Bear Fox about, I guess it was about 2 years ago now, maybe it was last year. But I heard her at a festival called Heart and Mind, and and she sang such beautiful songs, and they were songs from the heart, and they were songs that some of them were traditional Native American, some of them were songs that she created. She's Mohawk. She her musicality, her the beautiful sound of her voice, the musicality, it will take you to some place where you feel like um, that you've really learned something and experienced something about this rich Native American culture here um, on this land. Um, and it's such an honor for us here at Afro Roots Tuesdays to be able to present Bear Fox, and it's such an honor for us to see you come out and join us for that. Before we start with Bear Fox, I always love to just play a song, and this song, which I will play, I call the Indira Call to Peace, and it calls peaceful and playful spirits into the room. Um, I have an Mbira here, and I'm going to play a song called Dance to the Drum. And later on in the song, I'm going to ask people to unmute. Actually, at any point in the middle of the song, you can unmute because I'm going to ask you to join me at a certain point, okay? But I'll get started first. Yeah, go ahead and unmute. Now, as you unmute, I'm going to ask you to do one thing because we're a community here. So I always join our voices together with an ululation. Just reach out to all your brothers and sisters out there in internet land. Send out that healing vibration so that everybody feels connected. Yeah, your voice is my voice is your voice. We're all connected through this experience. And this song is called Dance to the Drum. Everyone dancing to the drums. Everyone's dancing to the drum. You can feel the beat of the drum in your heart. Let the music heal everyone. Let the music heal everyone. Everyone dancing to the drum. Everyone dancing to the beat of the drum. Can you feel the beat of the drum moving everyone? Dancing to the drum. Oh, dancing to the drum. Woo! Dancing to the drum. Yeah, dancing to the drum. Everyone dancing to the drum. Everyone dancing to the drum. You can feel the beat of the drum moving everyone. Because the people are dancing to the drum. They know where it's coming from because the drum is moving everyone right where it's coming from. The drum brings electricity, universal energy to things we can and cannot see. So dream on positivity, vibe on positivity. The drum will raise the energy and sync our heartbeats, you and me, and let us flow more easily. Cause rhythm is science, don't you know? Science of a cosmic flow, guiding how we move and grow. Interplanetary show, so feel the rhythm of the beat. seat. Jump on in, it's on repeat. Jump on in, this rhythm sweet. And if you're dancing to the drum, I bet you know where it's coming from, cause the drum is healing everyone right where it's coming from. The drum is healing everyone right where it's coming from. Yes, the drum is healing everyone right where. Can you join it? Join it. Everybody. Okay, thank you so much. So at this point, we're feeling the energy. We're feeling the love of the community. We're in our hearts. We're in our breaths. We're out of our heads. If everyone please mute your microphones and give a warm handshake for Bear Fox.
Seko Sewo Kweko, everyone. My name is Bear Fox. Zasne, which is in upstate New York, Canada. And on our territory here, which is the Ganyak Gahaga, the people of the Flint, or also known as the Mohawk people, it consists of New York, Quebec, and Ontario. And I've lived here all my life. I have 5 children, a girl and 4 boys, and I have 12 grandchildren. And I've been a songwriter for a while now. And I hope you like the sounds. Thank you for inviting me, Kevin, to Afro Roots, and I'm really looking forward to sharing. I think it's so important to share our culture. The first sound I'd like to start with is called Gayeli Niongwedeke, which in English means the 4 messengers, or the 4 beings. And this sound came to me when I went on my very first vision quest. I was in the mountains at the Mohawk Valley, and at the time my kids were pretty small and I was worried about them the whole time. And so I'm in solitude on this mountain, and all of a sudden this beautiful melody came to me, and it helped ease my mind. It made me feel calm and not worry so much about my little ones. And so when I got done my fast for 4 nights, when I came down off the mountain, I started working on a song thanking the 4 messengers to watch over my family. So I always like to start out with this one, and I'd like to invite everyone to think of their families. And I'm going to be thinking of my family, and I'm going to be putting a white light around them of protection, so that no harm comes to them. And I'd like you all to invite all of you to do the same. Think of your family, close your eyes with a white light of protection. Kayali Niungweda Ge Owantoka Asquayena Waze Seyatano Nane Aquajile Owantoka Asquayena Waze yo yo ana yo ya yo yo ana yo ya yo 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 ana yo ya yo ana yo ya Kayali ni un cuenta que yo watuka ascoyena mase se atanu nane aquagile awatuka ascoyena mase yo yo ana yo ya yo yo ana yo ya yo 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 ana yo ya yo ana yo ya I hope you like that song. I know it's there's a lot of it's kind of upsetting what's going on right now, but we got to try and stay positive for each other and try and take care of each other the best we can, and hoping that everyone stays strong during this time. It's almost like a test, I think, and gotta think of the positive things that are going on. Like right now, with not so much traffic and not so much going on, the Mother Earth is getting a really good rest. And I'm starting to see more animals. I looked out my window one morning and there was 3 deer in the field. The dogs were barking and barking, and it was so nice to see because I haven't seen that in a while. And then there was a lot of wild turkeys roaming around. There's so much more birds around in the trees now. And when I was swimming the other day, I saw a lot of fish in there. I was standing on the dock looking down, and there was a lot of fish swimming around. It was really nice. It's a nice, like, I'm thinking of the health that's coming back to our Mother Earth because, she goes through so much. And it's important to teach our young ones to take care of themselves, keep their bodies clean, be respectful of themselves, and respect Mother Earth also. So I think I'd like to, if anyone has any questions about that first sound, or if Kevin
Yes,
does.
Bear Fox, I
Yes?
do. I do
Okay.
have a question. I did hear some lyrics repeating.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I can't repeat the words very well myself. I'd probably be saying something totally inappropriate if I tried to repeat the words. But what is that lyric that I heard you say several times over? What can you say what that means? Can you translate that?
Um, the one that goes yo ho, hana yo ho ya he. I call them la la. There's no meaning to it. It's just like a melody.
Ah,
But the beginning does have kanya geha in it, where I say kayeli. That means four. Niungkwetage, like the four messengers or the four beings. Owadoga, can you, or is it possible? Asquayena waze, can you help me? Sayatanuna, can you watch over? Ne aquajile, my family. Owadoga, is it possible? Asquayena waze, for you to help me. Those are the word parts. And then the other one is the melody. Yo-ho, yo-ho, like that. So I call it la la. That's my word for
amazing.
melody. Mm.
And and now, is this a song that you heard, learned, or did you write this?
I
Oh,
wrote this. Yes, I wrote it because It's funny, I didn't know I could write sounds until I was around 23, I think I started. But I
Mm.
remember when I was young, I could hear melodies come to me. Like I remember being on the bus and hearing melodies come to me, and I'd look around to see if there was a radio or something playing next to me, and there was no radio. It was just a melody that only I could hear, like from all the little sounds that were coming to me. I don't know, like. And then when I got older, when we made a traditional women's group called Gundi Wanahawi, carriers of the words. That's what it means, Gundi Wanahawi. We did a traditional women's group, and then I started writing sounds for our group to sing and share. And this is one of the songs that we do a lot often.
Wow.
I think
Are you influenced? uh, Are you
my influence.
are you influenced by melodies that you heard uh, uh, from music when you were a child? Are the melodies influencing you
Yeah.
as well?
Yes, I believe so because I grew up with hearing a lot of music around me. Like my mother played piano. She played harmonica. I have two brothers that play guitar. My sister played guitar, and my two brothers that are more my age, are closer to my age, they used to sing traditional songs also. So they were the first ones that introduced traditional singing to me because they had a water drum and rattles. This is our rattle that we use. This is a traditional rattle. One of my friends made for my grandkids to sing with. Has a cow horn right here. Or they use a buffalo horn, some,
Uh-huh.
and then they hollow it out, and then they put the two wood pieces on there. But before they close it up, there's little BBs or seeds inside of here, and then this is the handle. So that's what we use for our traditional instrument. One of them.
So, are you on? You said you were at the reservation now. Are you on the reservation right now?
Yes, it's called Akwesasne, which means land where the partridge drums. I guess a long time ago, this was the hunting grounds where everyone went to hunt the game, the deer and the pheasants and partridge. And they said they would get they knew when they were coming to Akwesasne because they could hear all the partridge like hit their feathers. So that's why it became the place where the partridge drums,
Amazing,
Akwesasne.
amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot.
And do you have family stories that go back generations and generations in your family?
Just what my mother would tell me when I was young. Well, I grew up in a big family. There's 14 in my family, 8 boys, 6 girls. But four of my brothers passed away now. There was like 24-year span between my oldest brother and myself. So,
Wow.
yeah, my mother, there was 16 of us really, but two had passed away at birth. So I'm really the 16th born. Yeah.
Wow.
And well, anyway, when I grew up, my mother always told us like things that happened, and they always had the elders living with them too. Like she would tell me stories about her grandfather that lived with them in the same house that I grew up in. So the house that I grew up in is pretty old. It's it's got a lot of history there. And my father just lived up the road from her, and I could see his house where he grew up right now. Like it's just out my window, I could see it, and then I see where we grew up. And she said my father, how they met was when they were young. They always kind of liked each other. My father would bring the horses. There's no cars then. He would bring the horses by her house because my mother lived more near the river. That's where I am. I live right by the river now. And so my father would bring the barrels and put it in the back of the wagon, and then he'd bring the horses by her window, and they would wave to each other when they were young. And then continue on, and he'd go to the river and he'd fill up those barrels with the water, and then he'd come back up and then he'd wave to her again. She'd wait in the window. So they were kind of, kind of, they liked each other for a while. They were neighbors and they were friends. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm so curious. I guess we'll talk about this, as the night goes on, but those stories, and just as you
Mhm.
told this story about your father with the horses going to fill buckets, um, stories that give you a glimpse of life, um, before, uh, life in, say, in the way in the Native American world of this land, um, because that is the Native American communities are, of course, the original keepers of this land. So I'm curious about those stories about that life.
Mhm. Yeah, my mother and father, they both spoke Kanyakeha, the really language, always speaking to each other. Unfortunately, by the time I was born, English was being more overpowering the Kanyakeha that I was hearing. Um, but in the beginning of my family, my brothers, there was six brothers, all born. They were the first ones born, and they speak really nice Kanyakeha. They speak the language really well. And then my sisters, the older sisters, my oldest sister can speak and understand, and then the rest pretty much understand except for me and my sister, the last two, because in the schools it was starting to get discouraged for us to speak our language, and they were starting to get hit in school for speaking.
Say
So
that
my mother
again.
would.
Wait, Teresa, say that again. They were discouraging you from speaking your language in the schools.
Yeah, like it happened more with my older siblings, like, because they always just spoke Mohawk. That's all they heard, and then they spoke, right? And then so when they start going to school, the teachers were beginning to discourage them speaking the language because they they were saying that we would never get anywhere with our language, and they wanted us to learn English. And my sister told me this story where the bus driver came right in my mother's house because her kids were still speaking the language, and the bus driver came in and said, "Will you stop speaking to them in Mohawk? They're gonna become savages," like that. Like he scolded her like that, and then you know. And my mother was not one to like talk back or anything like that. She was always just like really quiet, and the, so my sister was telling me that it got more and more. My mother would just speak English because with me and my sister, when she speak to us, it was in English. So we were the ones that didn't learn how to speak, or we didn't learn how to understand.
Wow.
But
Yeah. Yeah,
trying to
but you learned the
trying
music.
to,
You learned a lot about the
yeah,
music,
yeah, yeah,
and so much of the
yeah.
understanding is in the music too.
hmm Yeah, it's really important. I'm trying to learn the language now, and my kids actually they know more language than I do because when they were young, there became an immersion school called the Acquisition Freedom School, and that's where I enrolled my kids because I didn't want them to be ashamed of not knowing the language like I was. So they at least understand, and then I have one, two, three that can speak out
Yeah.
of my five. Yeah, so I'm happy
Yeah.
that they can. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important what you're doing, because it's a very rich culture. It's a very rich language. It's it is the culture that really paved the way for all of us to be here. You know, nothing was going to exist without the amazing work and the beautiful work, cultural heritage of Native American peoples here. This whole country owes its constitution, its existence, the fact that there was such beautiful soil, water, and land here. Um, you know, when these things, culture is what creates beautiful soil, land, and air. These are things that don't just happen on their own. You know, there's a rich culture that manages that. What you see is actually the fingerprint of the culture of the people when you see beautiful soil, beautiful land, beautiful air, beautiful people, beautiful language, beautiful music. These things are the fingerprint of the people, you know. They don't happen on their own. It's not like, oh, you know, nature just took care of itself. No, everywhere where people are, they manage that. They manage that experience, you know. And when it's beautiful like that, it's because the Native American communities have managed it in a way to maintain its beauty and its integrity. So yeah, and in that the language too. Yeah. So can we hear some more music?
I'm trying. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'd like to. This one's an English song. It's in honor of all the mothers and the Mother Earth. Um, I hope you like it. It's called Our Precious Mothers. Oh, my mother, I'm so sorry for the pain that you've been through. But now that I'm older and I'm wiser, I'm gonna take good care of you. I'm so sorry for the times that I did not show respect. And I allowed myself and others to put our problems upon your back. Yo hi yo way I hear, 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 yo hi yo way I hear. When I see a starlit night, I seek the one that shines real bright. Then I think about you, mother, and I hope that you're alright. I finally opened up my eyes, and I've come to realize I appreciate your guidance, and I'm glad you're in my life. Yo hi yo way I hey, 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 yo hi yo way I hey. Oh, Mother Earth, we're so sorry for the pain that you've been through. But now that we're older and we are wiser, we're gonna take good care of you. We're so sorry for the times that we did not show respect. And we allowed ourselves and others to put our garbage on our turtle's back. Yo hi yo way I hey, 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 yo hi yo way I hey. We know that you are trying to continue to provide for all your children. You take care of it, trying hard to help us survive. We are the Ungwe Ungwe, we're the caretakers of the earth. We must take care of our life sustainers, our precious mothers who gave us birth. Yo ha yo way ya hey, 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 yo ha yo way ya hey. When I see a starlit night, I seek the one that shines real bright. Then I think of our precious mothers, and I hope that they're alright. Aw, I hope she's like that song. I'm just gonna get a drink of water here.
Yeah, relax, take your time.
You know, when I
Yeah.
went to college to when I went away to college, um, they there was some girls I made friends with, and they come up to me and they go, well, my English name is Teresa. They go, Teresa. They go, what are you? Like, we know you're something. You know, sometimes they'd be speaking to me in Spanish, and I'm like, I can't understand you. I'm not Spanish. Then they go, well, what are you? And I says, I'm Native American.
Oh, bear with us. We've had a frozen internet for a second. I'm hoping we'll be back soon.
And they go,
Yes.
what? Native? Okay. They go, are you Native American? And then I go, yeah. And they go, we learned that you all died. And then I was like so shocked because there's still so many of us. And she goes, that's what, she told me that's what they learned in school. And that's the first time I ever heard that. And then, so I always think of that, that's, that planted that seed for me to be able to want to share anything I know about the culture because I think it's so important for us to know about each other's cultures so we can build that respect with each other. So that's why I
And
like
also,
doing stuff like that.
and also to hear it from the Native American voice, because in so many cases we're being instructed or taught about Native American community from other voices here in the United States. We're hearing about it from other sources. So to be able to hear it from you, to be able to hear it from the very people of the Native American community, to let that community tell its story, right?
Hmm.
Because how is it that somebody can grow up in the United States and be told that I thought all of you had died or something like that? Well, that's because some other story was being told to them by someone else. And
Yeah,
so we have so much work to do to make sure that these stories get
yeah,
heard, get told, and get heard from the source. Because we wouldn't need a PhD telling your story. We don't need someone who studied and read books about you to tell your story. We need to hear it from you. We need to hear your experience. That's the beauty of
yeah,
it. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you for having your program too, because then it's teaching others to be more aware and sharing. So thank you too, Kevin.
You're welcome. And I just want you to flow on with the music as you feel free. Know that a lot of what we do here is about a larger issue, and it's about a larger flow. Um, so there are so many important things that get brought up in that flow. Um, so we want you to know that we appreciate your every word. And I'm going to say appreciate love because I spent a lot of time in Jamaica, and we say appreciate love everything that you're saying.
Oh,
Um, so
oh,
so please, continue on and feel free. Um, but thank you for that message because it's very important for us to understand that, yeah, there are some people that have heard the wrong story about Native American culture, and now I'd say there's an immense awakening and interest in Native American culture. We know that this direction of this country has to take a big change. Everyone knows that. They feel it. They don't need to even be told about it. They know we need to make a big change here in this so-called country, America here. And how are we going to make that change? You know, and can we change our point of view? Can we say now that we can learn, we should be learning from the original keepers of this land? We, all Americans, should be learning from the original keepers of this land and hear their story.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. I just wanted to share um, a song that I'm going to sing on the drum now. This was
Beautiful.
gifted me. Yeah. And from a lady named Janine in Six Nation. And this is deer, the deer, leather deer hide. And it's called a water drum. And right here is there's splint in here, what we make baskets with. We made a rim with it and then cover it with material. We pull the leather down really tight and then we put this rim on and it makes it even tighter. So then, and there's a little bit of water in there. We put it in this spout right here, a little bit of water. And then before I sing on it, I tip it upside down like this so that the water gets saturates the leather. It's kind of like a high pitch. But I lost my spout, so I'm gonna hold it with my thumb while I sing. This is my stick. So I thought I would do a water sound in honor of all the water, because the water is so precious. Without good water, we would not be able to survive. A lot of things wouldn't be able to survive. So water is so precious, and that's what I'm singing in the song. Gahne ganolo means precious water, and gahne galunya means all types of water. And yung Guanalumpa means we love the water. So if you know this song, please sing with me. Yung Guanalumpa, oh nega, yung Guanalumpa, oh nega, gane galunyo, gane ganalo, gane nauya iya. Yung Guanalumpa, oh nega, yung Guanalumpa, oh nega, gane galunyo, gane ganalo, gane nauya iya. Yo hey yo hey aye, yo hey yo hey aye, gane galunyo, gane ganalo, gane nauya iya. Yung Guanalumpa, oh nega, yung Guanalumpa, oh nega, gane galunyo, gane ganalo, gane nauya iya. Yo hey yo hey aye, yo hey yo hey aye, gane galunyo, gane ganalo, gane nauya iya. Yo Yoko, I know a lot of my friends out west there, in California, they love this song. So I imagine if they're listening, they're singing with me. And the ones from around here also. So I'd
Teresa,
like to try a mother. Yeah?
can you translate one of those lyrics again for us?
Okay. Yung Guanalumpa means we love. Oh, nega is the water. Yung Guanalumpa, we love. Oh, nega, the water. Gahne galunyong means all types of water, like the snow, the rain, the mud puddles, the sea, the oceans, like all types. Gahne galunyong. Then gahne ganolo means the water is precious. And then,
Teresa, that
yeah,
song is that song is healing.
yeah,
That's a healing song. Can you
yeah,
can you just do a little bit of it again?
yeah. Want me to do the
Thank you.
whole thing again?
Whatever you want.
Okay, because it's pretty short. The drum sounding okay? Yung Guanalumpa, oh nega, yung Guanalumpa, oh nega, gane galunyong, gane ganalo, I like that it's a healing sound. I love the sounds being healing for the people. I love that from my heart to all of your hearts.
Teresa, can you imagine when you sing that song, what vibration goes on even in the water? Because,
Yeah, yeah.
you can tell that it's going to heal the water.
Hmm. Yeah, you imagine the water. Like I'm right by the water, so when I close my eyes, I'm singing to the water. Yeah.
And science now is starting to find out that all these things are real. You know, Science is finding out that sound vibration is going can heal water. Sound vibration can improve water quality. That all these things that are part of indigenous cultures all over the world to sing to elements of nature, or the forces of nature, should we say, to sing to these elements, because in there's this element, nothing is separate from us. There's a consciousness to it all. And if we
Mm.
are singing to it, then we are actually healing it. We're actually raising of it so that it becomes so much more of a healing experience for us. And all this is coming to light in science in more recent times now. Something that
Oh,
obviously is very ancient for Native American cultures.
mm. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And
And
that part, um, I'd like to do a Mother Earth sound. That's okay. You
yes,
can start. Yeah.
yes.
What we're singing in this song is Yekenista Hawi Awine Howe. Yekenista is our mother, the earth. And I'll say it twice. Yekenista Hawi Awine Howe. Yo wine, yo wine, Hawi Awine Howe. Yekenista Hawi Awine Howe. And then it's just Lala, as I was telling you earlier. And then on the second part of the song, I'm gonna say, Zatunde ka means can you hear? The Agawe means her heart beating. So I'm gonna ask everyone to listen. Zatunde gane de Agawe because she's alive just like us. Zewadahun Sadat means listen really closely. Deyagawahyakwa means to her heart beating. So that's the song I'm gonna do right now. And on the second part of the song, I'm just gonna use my foot like to make a heartbeat, and I'd like to ask all of you to make a heartbeat representing the Mother Earth's heartbeat. Yakani sound hami hami neobe. Yakani sound hami hami neobe. Yo vine, yo vine, hami hami neobe. Yakani sound hami hami neobe. Kaena uya ya. Yakani sound hami hami neobe. Kenny Sound, Satunde gane de akawe akwa Sewada hunsadat de akawe akwa Gaina uya iya Yekeni saunja hawe hawe ne owe Yekeni saunja hawe hawe ne owe Yovine yovine hawe hawe ne owe Yekeni saunja hawe hawe ne owe Gaina uya iya Yekeni saunja sa hunja awi awi ne awi satunde gane de yakawe yakwa sewada sadat he yakawe yakwa gai now ya he ya yo. Hope you like that one too. Yeah, I'm picturing the Mother Earth also during that.
Would you tell us again, take one of the lyrics and translate it? Because, I could feel that message to Mother Earth, but maybe if you would translate one of the lyrics, I'd have a little bit of better understanding. Yeah.
Okay. Ikenisa Hunja means our mother, the earth. And then when I go Satunde Ga, Satunde means can you hear? Satunde Ga, Ne De Agawe Yakwa means can you hear her heartbeat? De Agawe Yakwa is her heartbeat. Sawadahun Sadat means listen really closely. Sawadahun Sadat. De Agawe Yakwa to her heartbeat. Those are the words parts.
And then you have something that you call the la la la, right?
Yeah, yeah. So all the fillers, la las.
This la la la, what you call la la la, I find really interesting because I hear it in other forms of other families of Native American music too.
Hmm.
And is there another name for the la la la, or is that the best way to describe it at this point?
I kind of have my own lingo, my own language. That's all
Yeah,
I know. There's probably more proper word for it, but I just don't know it. I just say la la.
it's yeah, it's very interesting because I in a lot of indigenous cultures all over the world, and not so indigenous cultures, there's uh, la 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 of different kinds,
Mhm.
and it becomes like a vocalese, so to speak, a way of singing along to the music in which you don't have to use lyrics, but you create the music with syllables. And it's a very strong um, culture of that throughout Southern Africa. All kinds of use of syllables and for creating, structuring a whole song, a whole melodic passages, um, and it's all over the place. Wherever you go. I mean, it's of course I could just say doo-wop, 50s doo-wop here in the United States. I can keep going where this use of syllables for and but actually they seem to convey a message within those, but I hear it so often and it has a certain ring to it when I hear it in Native American music, and I always find it really beautiful. I find it extremely beautiful.
Can I chime in?
Oh,
Can I chime in? Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I hear you.
They call it vocables,
Ah,
it's vocal.
vocables, or vocalizations. So it's just a
Vocalizing.
repetitive, like la 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 la. So in every nation, they have their vocables, and it's called vocables or vocalizations. That's how I understand it.
thank you,
Oh, okay.
thank you.
Yama.
Yawa,
There you go.
Minyan.
they go Bear Fox.
You.
That's beautiful.
Thank you
Thank
for
you so much.
that.
So
Uh,
yeah, Bear Fox, your your vocables, are they specifically are they more commonly heard among Mohawk music?
yeah, we have social sounds that are all vocables too. Like, yeah, they're just all vocables pretty much.
Ah, that's beautiful.
I could share one of those
Feel
if
free.
you would.
Feel
Okay.
free. Yes.
Okay. This is just all vocables. It's let's see, I could do the alligator one. And on this one, because our nation used to visit other nations and trade sounds, this is one of the sounds that were traded, and from the Sioux, which are down south more, where there's alligators. There's no alligators up here, up north, but they taught us this sound, and it's the alligator dance. And so when I go yo ho, and then everyone says we yeah, when we're at the social, so you're welcome to go we yeah, yo ho, we yeah, yo ho, we yeah, yo ho, we yeah.
That's call and response.
Yeah, call and
Call and
response.
response.
Yeah. Okay, you wanna try it? You wanna open up the audio and when I say yo, then I'll say
Oui,
we,
yeah.
yo ho,
Oh, oui, yeah.
Yeah,
yo ho.
Oh, oui, yeah.
yeah.
And I'll go yo ya hey, and we all say ya hey.
Hey.
Try it. Oh ya ne, 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 oh ya ne.
Oui, yeah.
Yeah,
Oui, yeah.
yeah.
Oui, yeah. Oui, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Hey. Oui, yeah.
yeah.
Oui, yeah.
Yeah,
Oui, yeah.
yeah.
Oui,
Yeah.
yeah. Oui,
We
yeah.
yeah.
Oui,
We
yeah.
yeah.
Oui, yeah.
Yeah.
Oui, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We yeah. We yeah. We yeah.
And when the couple dances, they swing. They when I go yo yeah hey, they lock the arm, and the women represent the tail, and the men represent the head of the alligator. When I go yo yeah hey, the men they swing the woman around like their tail, so they go in a circle like this. So yeah, it's a fun dance, but then they just walk for the rest. Yeah, someday we'll have to do that one. Yeah.
That's a Teresa. That was a beautiful song. It
Oh,
really
thank you.
was, and it felt so good to feel everybody joining in like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you for singing with me.
The amazing thing is, Zoom oftentimes makes it very difficult because the internet speeds are different for people to actually sing back and forth or call and response with each other over Zoom. But actually, that time it worked. It seemed to work. It seemed like that you could hear the call and response. It's pretty amazing,
Yeah, it was just a little delay, not too much. It was
right?
pretty good. Loved it. Yeah.
So I want to ask you too. Also,
Worked,
do you think that there were other forms of music that influenced your music other than the songs you heard, um, the Native American songs you heard? Are there other kinds of music that influenced your melody making?
I know I was listening to, with the water sound,
Uh-huh.
I was listening to a lot of Bill Withers,
Yeah.
Grandma's Hands. So when he went, like,
Uh-huh.
so that kind of got influenced into that one.
Yeah.
Grandma is like, yeah, because I like different types of music too. I called my music native contemporary.
Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, that's true about any artist. Every artist is influenced by any number of influences. So there's really no such thing as pure this or pure that. Even if you're in the village in the remote part of Africa, you're not dealing with pure anything. You're dealing with people, artists who are influenced by so many of the things they hear. And people are moving around a lot more than we think they are. Then a lot of influences also are moving around a lot more than we think they are. Certainly, way more than our history books and our media tells us. So it's always amazing to note that that oftentimes you hear a performance that is thought to be you know of one genre, but it's been influenced by several other genres too. And it's just life. It's just the way we operate in this world. Everything in this world is world music. Every kind of music is world music. So I always say that, everything Teresa did tonight is classical music, because it's classical, everything she did tonight is world music, because it's world music and it's definitely rocking. So it's rock and roll too. So, for us to get caught up in the genres is really not very kind to music in general. Um, Music is a
Yeah,
lot more fluid than that.
yeah,
Um,
right. You're right.
yeah.
Because when I go to submit something, they always want me to pick some that genre, and it's hard to just like native contemporary isn't there. It's I have to choose something, and it doesn't seem to fit right, you know.
Do you ever find yourself feeling like somebody is trying to paint you in a corner about what you do?
Mm. Well, it's hard because our categories aren't there. Like when I
There
went,
you go.
yeah, when I went to submit our CD, there was no it's just in the language, but there's no Mohawk language. I had to put English, even though there was no English in it at all, you know? So I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's, it's not
It's
there yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's an issue for artists. I know it can be difficult, and you have to get around it somehow to be able to open people's minds and hearts and ears up to it. I hear G-Way has already offered the fact that he hears jazz influence. But it
Oh,
could
yeah.
also be jazz influence. You could be influencing jazz too. Your Mohawk melodies are probably influencing jazz too. Both ways around. I'm going to tell you a little something, and people don't, they don't look at this, but there's a strong connection between the roots of African American soul, hip hop music, and Native American music. There's a strong connection, and
Yeah.
and one can find out where those connections come from. But you can just dig into music, and you can hear those roots and realize that they're there. And you can hear it in the music of James Brown. You can hear it in so much music, um, and it's undeniable. So this again is to say that music and culture moves around in so much more fluid ways than the picture that's painted to us is. You know, so yeah. But certainly hip hop and African American genres uh, owe a great deal of influence to Native American music because there's a lot of roots in it.
There's a movie about that called Rumble that I
Uh,
sing. It just opened my eyes to a lot of similarities and a lot of influences.
yeah,
That was a good one for people to look up and watch.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Hmm.
And of course, there's that whole. There are different pockets of the United States where African American culture and Native American culture were basically seamless. They were one and the same. Um, Different parts of New Orleans, different parts of Virginia, um, and I'll just say that Florida for a long time was African and Native American. It was totally populated by Africans and Native American before it became a state of the United States. In fact, the longest war in the United States, which was fought over 35 years, was basically fought against Native American and African peoples living in Florida. So the connection keeps going. Um, and so it's, I'm just talking about one angle. There's several different angles from which you can approach this, and several different musical genres from which you can approach this. But we know that um, before there was any other culture of music on this land, we're talking about Native American music, the music of this land that we're on, the music that these rocks will sing to us if they could speak. Um, and we are getting a chance to be able to listen and to get a little bit of a closer ear on that tonight too, and to hear where it's going. So, would you feel would you feel like doing another song for us?
Oh yes, I will.
All right.
Um, Aiden, I'll do another. I'll do one in English that I was in one of my language classes, and this song came to me. I was thinking of my father. My father just spoke Kanyake. He only spoke Mohawk, very little English. So growing up, when he would talk to me in the language, and I didn't, sometimes I knew what he was saying and I would do what he was asking me to do, but sometimes I didn't understand him. And he would just look at me like, I'm like looking at him, I'm like, I don't know, like, what he's saying. So I would look for my mother, and my mother would tell me what he was saying, like she was my translator. And then but sometimes she wasn't there to tell me, and I would just be like that, and then he would just get mad and he would just go, walk in the other room and do it himself, or, I just felt so ashamed growing up because I didn't know what he was saying, and I felt bad because I didn't know my language. So when I was around, I lost both my mother and father, being so, like, our family was so big, and by the time I was 23, I lost both my mother and father. And so I took a language class to learn my language. And I was thinking of my father, and it's called Ganya Geha Blues. Because growing up, because I wanted my language so much, and when you're little, you think that it could magically happen. Like when had a birthday cake, that would be my wish. I wanna speak my language, and I blow out my candles and think that in the morning I'm gonna be speaking my language fluently, or wishing on a falling star, you know. So, because when you're little, that's you think everything can happen so easy. So that's what this song is about, and I'd like to share it with all of you. I would wish on birthday candles, I would wish on falling stars. I would wish on four-leaf clovers, throw my money in wishing wells. How I wish it could be that easy, but I know it cannot be. To wake up in the morning and speak my language fluently. I have the Ganyageha blues. Oh my Duda, all I want is to speak my language with you. I know you get frustrated 'cause I don't know what you say. But you know that television didn't help me in any way. I will close my eyes and pray with all my heart. Put my pinky around a wishbone and pull real hard. And even though I'd win the bigger wish, I'd still wake up in the morning speaking in English. I have the Ganya blues. Oh my duda, it's not easy to speak with you. I enrolled in classes each day from 9 to 4. In just 9 at Yohahio, a Mohawk language course. I am trying to learn my language that is so beautiful. Returning to school as an adult is not an easy thing to do. My wishing days are over. I have to try real hard. No more relying on birthday candles or relying upon the stars. I have the Ganya blues. Oh my duda, all I want is to speak my language with you. I have the Ganya blues. Oh my duda, all I want is to speak my language with you. A lot. Hope you like that one. A lot of the ones that were in my class at that time, they still remember when I was writing that, because when the song comes to me, I have to hurry up and write it down. I have to like grab a paper and the closest pencil and just start writing and writing and writing, because it's like a spirit comes right in, and it's like you gotta write this sound and share it with the people. It's like they're like pushing on me to hurry up and do it. That was one of those kind of songs.
Teresa, yeah, that's amazing. That's happened. So I think with a lot of artists, I remember listening to an interview with Stevie Wonder, in which Stevie Wonder keeps tape recording equipment every part of his house, so that
Oh
he
wow.
all he needs to do is touch a wall, and it will start
Mm-hmm.
recording ideas. He'll start recording ideas for songs, so that he doesn't have to go and reach for paper or reach for something or reach for a tape recorder. He's got tape recorder equipment everywhere he goes in his house, because songs come like that. They come like something that flies by your head, and that if you don't catch it right then, you can try to remember it, but you might not quite remember it exactly the way it was flying with all the colors that you saw. So yeah, that I know other artists who walk around with little tiny tape recorders on them. So as soon as their song idea comes, they just turn on that tape recorder and
Mm-hmm.
record. Speaking of artists, I'm just going to make a little station identification here, and that's that you are listening to Afro Roots Tuesdays. We come to you every 2 weeks with amazing artists from all over the world. We're so blessed and thankful tonight to be bringing you Bear Fox. Um, it's been a very special night, and I want you to know that you can find Bear Fox, and you can. I'm sure you can find her music, her recordings. Um, Bear Fox, can you tell us where someone can find your recordings, where your music at, and where they can find how to find you, and
Okay.
when they come looking for you?
Um, I have a website. It's called bearfoxmusic.com. And every day I'm trying to find time to update it. Um, it was all under CD Baby where the music used to be available, but now they stopped now. I guess the CD Baby is no longer there. So I'm working on trying to get it onto Apple iTunes. I do have a couple CDs, well, 3 CDs, maybe more. Yeah, You'll find some on Apple iTunes and Amazon. And I don't have all my CDs on there yet, but I'm working on it, trying to get it out there more on Spotify. If you just type in Bear Fox, then there's about 5 CDs available, and some one traditional one also, our women's group. And
And
I just, um,
your website again?
it's called bearfoxmusic.com. And I have CDs available. If they want to write me directly, I could send it through the mail. Yeah. And
Great. I wanted to make sure that everyone knows how to reach you, and also if someone should want to support your work, can they do that through your website?
yes,
Beautiful. Yeah.
I,
Because
I
artists all over the world are dealing with the same issue with the result of the lockdown. The lockdown has canceled concerts and performances for every artist all over the world. So if you are interested in an artist's music, support the artist because we want the music, we want the art to flourish, to grow. In fact, we want somehow or another things to work to everyone's advantage for this, right? I mean, we
mhm.
know Wall Street got an advantage from this. Wall Street got $4.5 trillion before anybody got a blink. But let's hope that artists can get some sort of advantage too from this. Let's hope that people support the arts, that people will continue to support arts institutions and artists for what they do because they carry culture forward, they carry truth forward, they carry light forward. The what we've been hearing tonight with Bear Fox has gone far deeper than entertainment. It's not that I've been entertained tonight. I've been having my eyes opened, and I've been having visions into culture uh, the, that I would not otherwise have. So this is the importance of it: is that we are doing far more than educating, being educated. We're getting a real sense for and a real feeling for things. And a real feeling is being able to feel from another person's point of view too. And arts allows us to be able to do that, feel from another person's point of view, which is really important at this time for us to be able to feel, to step inside someone else's vision, step inside another culture vision, another vision of the world, and to hear this vision of the world where we sing to the water, where we sing praises to Mother Earth, where we sing about the language that we wish we were speaking. All that is vision. Um, so, Bear Fox, we're not finished yet. Of course, I just had to come in and make that station identification. And I didn't mean to interrupt you too long, but we're letting it flow. So, would you feel free to continue on and do another song if you want?
Okay. Let's see. I want to try the Grandmother Moon sound. This is one that we sing our moon ceremonies in honor of the Grandmother Moon. And I'm trying to think of the words on this one. This one sound is different than the others. Like usually um, I when I go to write a song, I write it in English. Then I find my friends that or my family that can help put it into Ganyageha, and then I make the sound with it with the melody that I found. But this sound, one of the women in our community, she came to me with the lyrics already. So then I just had to find a melody and make us put them together. So this is the sound that we both collaborated together on. And what it's saying is that our our grandmother, the moon, she lives in the sky, and that we appreciate her. So I'm going to sing this song for you all, and I hope you like it. Yeti sata asatane ka kalakwa. Deatin walados. Ochichi saji sego yetigas. Nagalo yadini dizeno. Yo yo we ya 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 Yeti sota asotane kagalakwa Deetinu malados Ochichis ochisago yetikas Nagahlu yadini dizeno Yo 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 we 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 And the grandmother moon was pretty full, huh? The other night was pretty full, and me and my friend, we went for a ride in kayaks, and it was my first moonlight ride on the river, and she was just really bright. And sometimes I go to sleep at night, and then she's just shining right in the room. I just love her because she's like always there for me, for us, I guess. But I feel like she's there for me. Just really appreciate her.
Are there any musicians who you heard that in Native American music that inspired you?
That inspired me, yes. Growing up, I always listened to this, I think he was Métis. His name was Willie Dunn, and he's a Canadian, from the Canadian side. And his music is like ballads. So I think that's where I got that influence of writing stories. His was more like about history, and mine's about life, like family life and what's going on. Um, yeah, he was a big influence. My brother always listened to his music, and Buffy Sainte Marie, my sister, always listened to her. So I think those are my two big native um, influences. And then Carole King is one of my favorite, also favorite artists.
Is that Carole King?
Yeah, Carole
Okay,
King.
okay.
I love the songs that have like stories in it. And it seems very from the heart. Yeah. And
When you grew up, was your family supportive of your music, or were they trying to tell you to
be
learn
quiet.
English, learn English, and go to some English school and get an English job and do the whole American thing?
Become a doctor, a lawyer, no Indian
No,
chief.
Chief.
Oh my gosh. Well, growing up, I loved to sing, and so even before I go to bed, I'm like singing away. I love to sing, and a lot of times they'd be quiet now. It's time to go to sleep. They called me Delis. That's how you say Teresa in Kanyaka. Delis, Anya, go to sleep now. And so yeah, that's
That,
all. That's
that's a good title for your next song. Go to sleep. How do you say that in Mohawk? Go to sleep now.
Wasadafa.
All right. That's your next one. Make it a hip
Wasadafa.
hop.
Okay, then. I'll work on that, Mignon.
So, Therese,
Okay.
Bear, did your music ever save your family?
Oh, yes. I was coming to that. Like, growing up, my mother and father and my family was telling me to be quiet, but when I, let's see, started the woman when we had our women's group start. I started writing the sounds in traditional, and then in 2001, my family had a chimney house fire. We had a wood stove that the wind came right into the chimney, like it blew the our wood stove fire, and it went right inside our walls, the embers. So we had a fire, and we all had to get out of the house, and we moved away. We were still on the res, but it was right at the edge of the res where we had to live for 3 years. We lived there, and when we were over there, I was trying to think. I wasn't working at the time, and my husband then was iron work. He wasn't iron working. I don't think he was. Oh yeah, he was iron working, and but I was thinking, how could I help bring in some kind of income for my family to help build our house? We have to start over, and so I go, well, I got this idea. Like artists, they sell paintings, they make art, they sell it. I go, I write songs in Mohawk. Maybe I could write some in English and make a CD with it and help bring in income for my family. So once I decided that, I sat at the table and I started writing sounds, like all these sounds. It's like it opened up all these other melodies and ideas for sounds start coming to me. And I made a CD with 11 sounds on it, and that was the first start of our helping my family to get through the hard times. And I've been doing it ever since. So yeah,
That's
very good.
that's beautiful. I had to bring that up. And the reason why I had to bring that up because oftentimes artists in their families are oftentimes the ones who are being scolded and being maligned for not going the route toward trying to figure out how to make how to make dollars for everybody and how to rise in some sort of ladder of what would seem to be success or whatever. So oftentimes artists are the ones who are getting scolded by their family members, by their parents, and oftentimes in a very mythological way, artists wind up being the ones who save their families, who save the
Hmm.
integrity, who save the health, who save the economy of their families. And it's a very very interesting story, but it happens all too often to be passed up on. Is that these very people who grow up being maligned by their families are the ones that oftentimes save their families. And so it has to be pointed out. That's why I had to bring that up there.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Kevin, for bringing that up. Yeah, that's important to do what your spirit wants you to do. It's your gift. It's important to share it, I think. And it's like you have this little fire, your gift, and it's important to feed it so it grows bright. When I'm not songwriting or doing my singing, my fire starts going really small. And then when I start again, it helps build and it's getting bigger again. So I'm
And
very
that
grateful.
fire that you're talking about is not just a fire that lights your life. It's a fire that lights everything around you, all the people, your kids, your family, your parents. It's lighting all their lives. It's not just, and it's lighting your community. It's a fire that's lighting everything. It's lighting all the air and water, as I told you, the water, the sky around you. That's the fire we're talking about. So that's why it's so important to keep that and to just add to that. If anything, just bring it back double every day. You know. Would you like to do another song for us before we begin to wrap up in here? We might have time for 2 more, but
More. Um, Well, every time my kids turn 18, I wrote them a song.
Uh-huh.
And I think I'd like to share a song I wrote for my son, my third one born. And it's called Stand in Sky.
Okay.
Okay. And he is a traditional boy, carries a water drum instead of toys. And his mama taught him right from wrong. His father taught him ceremony songs. And he knows when it's time to wake, to thank Creator for another day. He knows the importance of language and traditions. Gotta think ahead to future generations. Ohio, way up hey, 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 Ohio, way up hey. And his name is Standing Sky. Two skies standing side by side. His grandmother named him when he was a baby before she went on her spirit journey. He has a big heart, big as the sun, so much love for everyone. And if an evil beast came around, then his father would knock it down. Yo-hi-yo, way-ah-hey, yo-hi-yo, way-ah-hey, yo-hi-yo, ah-way-ah-hey. Yo-hi-yo, way-ah-hey, yo-hi-yo, way-ah-hey, yo-hi-yo, way-ah-hey, yo-hi-yo, ah-way-ah-hey. Yo-hi-yo, way-ah-hey. He wears his ribbon shirts to school, wears his chokers and magazines too. He doesn't care what they say. He's just proud to be Ungwe Hungwe. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. They may ask him, but he says no. And his name is Standing Sky. Two skies standing side by side. Yo-hi-yo, way-ah-hey, yo-hi-yo, way-ah-hey, yo-hi-yo, ah-way-ah-hey, yo-hi-yo, way-ah-hey, yo-hi-yo, way-ah-hey, yo-hi-yo, way-ah-hey, yo-hi-yo, ah-way-ah-hey. Yo-hi-yo, way-ah-hey. So that's my son Galanda's song. Yeah. I'm glad you like that one too.
That was very beautiful. I
Thank you.
I remember the la 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 in that song.
Mm. Were you singing along too?
Yes.
Yeah, when our women's group is together, they do that. We do that all together too. I
Your
just want to mention, if I can, Mignon and I, the lady that's watching, and she plays flute really nice. And we just recently made a CD together. And if anyone's interested, that one's available out there also. It's called Adelozala, which means friendship. And
beautiful.
yeah,
Thank you. Greetings, Mignon. Thank you so much. You've been with us and joining in so much with so many important things to say. Thank you so much.
yeah.
Uh, you're welcome. I try to support her as much as I can. I've known her for over 10 years, and we
Beautiful.
collaborated a lot at different um, festivals and events, and like the Mohawk Festival in in Mohawk Valley, and then she comes out here to the California World Fest, and we've been having an Indigenous Peoples Village for the past 13 years. So we didn't have one this year, but we do have a video that they put out with the Indigenous Village people performing virtually.
Wow. That's so
Anyway,
beautiful. Are you in California now?
oh yeah, I'm in California. Yeah.
Thank you
Mm.
so much.
Well, You're welcome. I also have a radio program. That's why I'm familiar with some of the things that go on. As far as
Oh,
indigenous
Oh,
music, I
beautiful.
the name of my program is Indigenous Soul.
Oh,
mm,
great.
And that's and I you were talking about how Native Americans and Afro Americans, they kind of have the same roots as far as music. Well, the drum goes back thousands and thousands of years. It was the first instrument, and the drumming and the dancing, and the flute also goes way back. But I have a song that I got from my brothers used to listen to a lot of Latin music, and there's a song called Afro Blue.
Oh,
Are
Mango
you
Santa
familiar?
Maria.
Mango Santa Maria, and my
Yes,
brother played conga. So one of the songs that I have that I kind of took from that is a song called, and I changed the name to Native Blues, and it's in flute music with congas in the background,
beautiful,
but with the native flute. But anyway, it's all good. Indigenous soul, right on,
beautiful.
Fair Fox.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Indigenous soul is such a beautiful expression. I love the expression. It says it all right there. Indigenous soul. Thank you. You and Bear Fox, we're winding down the night, and I'm gonna tell you, it's been a really beautiful. It's been a transformative night. It's been a night where we've been hearing music, and you've taken us on a journey. We've been in all sorts of rooms of melody and all sorts of galaxies of melody, and you did it all. And I think you played maybe only one instrument and would be a rattle, but all vocally. You suggested all the galaxies with your voice, and it was so beautiful to hear. Um, and I'm going to tell everyone out there that this is the kind of music. This is the kind of music that the direction of music is going to. It is going toward indigenous music of various indigenous cultures, because there's so much in those musical forms that is going to help us. It's going to help us get to where we need to go. It's going to help us cross that bridge, because we as a culture of the planet as a human species, are trying to cross over a bridge right now. And we are. We're going to cross over that bridge real fast because, right, we're at that point where it's either do or die. So we're about to cross over a bridge. And this music that she's bringing, she's keeping alive, she's sharing, is the kind of music that's going to help us to get there, to our coming phase of humankind. The phase is coming in which we honor the earth, in which we honor the water, in which we honor and protect the sky, which we honor and protect the people. We honor and protect the
mhm.
people. We make sure that everybody's good. We don't leave people out. We don't discount people. Some people, no, everybody. It's everybody. It's all of us, and the earth and the water and the sky, because this the spirit. The spirit is in everything, and this is hey, science has gone there now. So now we have a path through the indigenous musics of the world to be able to really embrace that. And as much as we have a world being taken over by technology, we have a world that's getting ready to be going toward the roots. And Bear Fox is keeping those roots there for us so that we have this ladder to climb on as we go across this bridge for humankind. Bear Fox, is there anything you would like to say in closing, or like to sing in closing for that matter? Because we're going to, as much as we'd love to be here all night long, we all are going to have to close this in a few minutes.
I'd like to sing one song. It's called Rich Girl. It's like a story also of how it was growing up here in Akwesasne. I call it Rich Girl because I always thought we were rich. Because I was always so happy. The kids always came to our house to. It was always full of kids, always full of food. We lived on a small farm. We always had clean clothes. Our parents took such good care of us. I go, I'm just so happy and full of love. I go, we must be rich. But as I got older, and one of my friends from school invited me to her house, and I walked in her house, and I was the very first time I ever saw like new cupboards, new table, new chairs, new floors, anything. Like I was just like I couldn't believe her house. It was so beautiful. It was brand new and everything. And then that's when I realized, holy, I guess we don't have a lot of money, you know? But what we did have was a lot of love. And that's what's most important, to have your family wrapped in love. So I'm going to try Rich Girl for you, Zal. Try my best to get through this one. When I was a little girl, when I was a little girl, when I was a little girl, I helped my mother with the chores. Then I would go to the river to swim. We'd play tag and swing on a swing. I loved to feel the hot summer heat. Couldn't stand shoes upon my feet. I am the youngest of 14. I am a rich girl, can't you see? My father was a farmer, hard working. He worked all day till the evening. His hands were calloused and full of strength. He didn't speak very much English. He was a well-respected man, knew his medicines and was very kind. He took care of his family. I am a rich girl, can't you see? My mother was the kindest you could meet. Her eyes, they sparkled and her smile so sweet. She loved babies, held them to her cheek. She made everyone feel unique. She was known for her butter and cream, so throughout her community, she made sure we had extra money. I am a rich girl, can't you see? Our house, it was very old. In the winter it was so cold. Wood filled wood stove for our heat. Bundled in blankets we would sleep. People thought that we were poor because of the holes upon our floor. But I'm a rich girl, can't you see? So much love in our family. Now I have a family of my own. I try my best to guide them as they grow. Try my best to keep them from harm. Tell them stories about the farm. When it's time to turn out the lights, I tell them I love them and good night. Then I hold my husband tight. I know everything is going right. Both my parents have passed away, but I know I'll see them someday. I am grateful for my family. I am a rich girl, can't you see? I am grateful for my family. I'm a rich girl, can't you see? So much love in our family. I'm a rich girl, can't you see? Now, thank you. Thank you for listening, and I really appreciate it. It's supporting me and helping me, and it's so important for me to share. So hope you liked what you heard.
Bear Fox, that was so
Yeah.
beautiful. Especially
Oh,
that song. I'm so glad that you closed that song. It was such a beautiful song. Very
oh,
memorable, touching. The message and everything, the music. It's been such a beautiful night. Of course, I'm sure everybody else feels the same, that we could be here for another 2 hours listening to you do some more songs. Um, However, we are going to close off as it is the time 9:30. And I told you, Bear, I told you that 9:30 would come before we thought it would. and
All
it
right.
did. Someone wanted to know if this will be available later. Yes, at some point, we're gonna, in about another week or two, we're gonna have the complete video of this. And according, if Bear Fox, of course, will be the owner of this video, but if she would allow us to post it on YouTube or parts of it on social media, then we will do that, and she can do that too. Um, of course, these are beautiful sort of archival material of incredible music, and so this is such a special night, such a special opportunity for all of us. I
Mhm.
want to make some special thank yous while I'm at it. Again,
Mhm.
I want to thank all of you for coming out to Afro Roots Tuesdays. We do it for, of, and by you. And so without you, it doesn't happen. We thank you so much for coming out to Afro Roots Tuesdays tonight. We also welcome you to support the artist, support Bear Fox, find where she's going, find out what she's doing. If you can send donations to her, send donations. All these things are important to make sure that artists are thriving and making it through and getting over to the other side during this time period, because we want all the artists to be here in full color as everything opens back up. And we don't know when this is going to happen, but we need to have our artists here. We need to be hearing our artists. So thank you to all of you for coming out. Um, and also thank you to Susan Macaluso. Thank you, Susan Macaluso, the director of God of Riverside. She has made this series possible by bringing Afro Roots Tuesdays to God of Riverside. Um, I want to thank Greg Cage. Greg Cage is, I don't think he's on board with us tonight, but he's always in some way on board with us. Um, and I want to also thank Amanda Hopper. Amanda Hopper has been running things tonight. And so she's from God of Riverside. Thank you so much, Amanda Hopper. And join us again in about 3 or 4 weeks, because we usually skip that last show in August and we start back up in early September. Find out from Afro Tuesdays on Facebook and join the mailing list by sending an email to kevinandbeard@hotmail.com. And have, other than that, you have a beautiful night, everybody. It's been a really, really amazing night. I'm going into gallery view so I can see who else is still in the room. A lot of people went home already, but thank you so much. And I also thank you, Mignon. Thank you so much again. Such a pleasure to have you. Such,
Anytime, anytime.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And again,
Um, and so, Bear Fox, thank you so much. I think
you're
everybody has had, it's such a heartwarming experience tonight. So we're
welcome.
going to be looking for you again.
Thank you, Bear Fox.
Bears, stand up
Um,
and show them your shirt, your t-shirt. Stand up.
Mignon gave me this one. I'm a buffalo.
I'm,
I do.
I do what I want.
Yeah, I do what I want.
She's a buffalo. She does what she wants.
Yeah, that's
Let
a
the
song.
buffalo roam.
That's a song too, right? Hi,
Uh,
hi,
it's a
Emily.
saying hi.
All right. So
Thank
listen,
you.
uh, and Time and Jiwe, thank you so much for being here with us
Oh,
tonight.
always, man. Always.
Yeah, thank you. Um, so we're going to turn it over to Amanda. Amanda, are you with us?
I am, yes.
All right, take it away. You got it.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Amanda.
Bye.